Hello everyone, my name is Joseph and welcome back to the Popsicleknight channel. This video is sponsored by PTCGO the best place for you to get Pokemon TCG code cards. Are you looking to complete your card collection online for the latest set? PTCGO has everything you need. And please remember to use my code NIGHT22 at checkout so that you can get a 5% discount. Please enjoy the discount and your purchase directly supports the content I create in this channel. Thank you guys so much for your support and for your supporting PTCGO. In today's video, we'll be taking a look at Dragapult from the Silver Tempest expansion set. Dragapult is a stage 2 Pokemon with 150 HP, 1 retreat cost, minus 30 resistance to fighting, and it is weak to dark. And its most notable attack is its first attack, Dragon Launcher. For 1 Psychic Energy, the attack description reads, discard a number of your bench Dreepy up to the number of your opponent's Pokemon in play. Then for each Dreepy you discarded in this way, choose one of your opponent's Pokemon and do 100 damage to it. You can't choose the same Pokemon more than once, and this damage isn't affected by weakness or resistance. The first part means that if your opponent only has 1 Pokemon in play, you can only discard 1 Dreepy. If they have 2, then you can discard up to 2 Dreepies and so on. The second part of this attack means that you can have multiple targets depending on how many Dreepies you discarded. For example, you can target 2 of your opponent's Pokemon if you discarded 2 Dreepies, and you deal 100 damage to each of those Pokemon. And you cannot choose the same Pokemon to target. In other words, you cannot be dealing 200 or more damage to one Pokemon. And since this attack is not affected by weakness or resistance, this attack will not be doubled even if your opponent's active is weak against psychic types, nor can it be reduced by resistance. One challenge this attack has is its low damage output, which means you cannot be one-hit knocking out any Pokemon with this attack. Another challenge is that you need to have a bunch of Dreepies available in your bench, so not only do you need to search for them in your deck, you also need to make sure that you have room in your bench to put your Dreepies into play as well. And since you will be discarding your Dreepies, recovering them is another challenge. While Dragapult has a low damage output, being able to target multiple Pokemon that can be knocked out by a single hit can be very advantageous. So this Dragapult is actually really good against most single pricer builds. But another solution is by lowering your opponent's HP down to its knockout range of 100 HP, which is why I'm incorporating the Zapdos V and Earthen Seal Stone combo in this build as well. This will really help you overcome a lot of high HP Pokemon V matchups. So just for a short summary, Zapdos V has the ability Fighting Instinct, which reduces its attack cost by 1 colorless energy for each Pokemon V your opponent has in play. Because of this, you may just be able to use the VSTAR power attack, Star Gravity, provided by the Earthen Seal Stone tool card, which lowers the HP of all of your opponent's V Pokemon down to just 100 HP. With that attack, your opponent's V Pokemon will be within knockout range of Dragapult's attack. If you knock out multiple targets with this attack, you can even take all of your 6 prizes within a single turn. The second challenge is finding all of your Dreepies from your deck, which is why I have Level Balls, Quick Balls, and Ultra Balls, a copy of Hisuian Heavy Ball just in case one is prized, and I also have copies of Capture Energy. When you attach this from your hand to one of your Pokemon, you can search your deck for a basic Pokemon and put it straight to your bench. The next challenge is recovering your Dreepy after you discard them. For recovery, I have 1 copy of Rescue Carrier. This will allow you to put 2 Pokemon with 90 HP or less from your discard pile and put it into your hand. I also have 2 copies of Ordinary Rod and 1 copy of Clara. I didn't focus too much on recovery because with the strategy of this build, I'm only really planning on using Dragapult to attack once or twice in a single game. For my draw engine, I'm using Snorlax with the Gourmandize ability and 4 copies of Colress's Experiment. You look at the top 5 cards of your deck, you put 3 in your hand and 2 in the Lost Zone. This is great not only for drawing cards but also for setting up cards in the Lost Zone so that we can attack with Cramorant for 0 energy. Because of its ability Lost Provisions, if you have 4 or more cards in the Lost Zone, this Pokemon's attack has 0 energy cost. It can then attack with Spit Innocently, which deals 110 damage. This can help knock out a Pokemon with its HP reduced down to 100 HP thanks to Zapdos V and Star Gravity. Your opponent might be using Path to the Peak Stadium, which can be a problem if it prevents your Zapdos V from using Star Gravity, but that's okay because you can just use Lost Vacuum. You can only use this if you put 1 card from your hand into the Lost Zone, and then you can put a tool card or stadium in play from either player into the Lost Zone. This is also good for adding cards in your Lost Zone. And you can also bump out their stadium with your old Cemetery Stadium. This is pretty helpful too because if either player attaches an energy from their hand to one of their non-psychic type Pokemon, put 2 damage counters on that Pokemon. You will not get affected by this stadium either because most of your attackers attack for free, and this does not apply to Dragapult since it is a psychic type. As for my energies, I have 3 copies of Horror Energy. It counts as a psychic energy, but if it is also attached to a psychic type Pokemon, if that Pokemon gets damage from an attack, your opponent's attacker will receive 2 damage counters. Next is a copy of Double Turbo Energy, more for Galarian Zapdos V, just in case your opponent only has one Pokemon V in play. And 2 Aurora Energies. This is great since this energy counts as any typing. This can power up either Dragapult's attack or Galarian Zapdos V's attack. Zapdos V can also attack with Thunderous Kick. For 1 fighting and 3 colorless energy, this attack deals 170 damage. But before doing damage, you can discard a special energy from your opponent's active Pokemon. And finally, Dragapult also has its second attack, Spooky Shot. For 1 psychic and 1 colorless energy, this attack deals 120 damage. To be honest with you, this Dragapult's attack is a little too complicated to figure out. However, in this build, I'm using this Dragapult only as a finishing attacker. The only thing that can stop you is this guy. Overall though, I think this whole combo works pretty well. Do let me know in the comments below if you have any other great combos that works well with this Dragapult. Anyway, that's pretty much it. You can find the complete deck list in the description below. And now please enjoy the following gameplay videos showcasing Dragapult. Alright, on to our first match. We're going first, and we're going to start this one with Galarian Zapdos V in the active spot. Less than ideal for me. I really don't like starting with this one because we don't even know if we're going up against a V Pokemon build. But that's okay. We have Capture Energy. I can get Snorlax with that. We also got Radiant Alakazam from our top deck. Might as well put it into play. So let's do this, get our Snorlax, and thankfully our Galarian Zapdos V only has 1 retreat cost, so we can get that out of the way. Put our Stadium in play, and then I think I'm just going to Gormandize. I really don't want to discard any of my other cards in my hand. And we got a Dreepy and a Rare Candy. That is pretty good, man. So now we have a complete line of Dragapult that we can evolve, and that's one less setup that we have to worry about in the long run. So my opponent's starting with Radiant Greninja in the active spot. Not quite sure what build they're playing, so we'll find out soon enough. Alright, it is a Darkrai VSTAR deck, and alright, we will be using Earthen Seal Stone in this matchup for sure. And I think it's winnable. I don't think Darkrai VSTAR plays any bench damage, so we don't have to really play Manaphy. And they're also using Crobat V. That's our second target right there. That's 4 prizes that is guaranteed for us. So we have a game plan here now. We're gonna use Earthen Seal Stone, and then at least we can get 4 prizes with those 2. And a Galarian Moltres V! So this is the battle of the birds, guys. Who will reign supreme? Of course it's gonna be us, right? But that's pretty awesome. They also have a gold Galarian Moltres V versus our gold Galarian Zapdos V. So they switch out into Darkrai V in their active spot. I don't think they're going to be able to attack this turn though, so I'm not sure what they're planning. But for us, the next step is to put our Dreepy in our bench, and then we're going to put that as a lineup to evolve into our Dragapult. And then all we have to do is prioritize into getting our Earthen Seal Stone. We can get our Snorlax out of the active spot right away because of our Scoop Up Net. And they're just going to turn it over to us. And we got another Dreepy from our top deck, so that's good. And then I'm just going to energize one of my Dreepy for now. And I'm going to use my Ultra Ball to get another Dreepy. And we're just going to Gormandize one more time this turn. And we got a bunch of Irida. This is pretty awesome, guys. We're getting all the cards that we need. So with that, we can get our Earthen Seal Stone. Hopefully they don't boss us, and that's okay. Actually, that's okay, because even if they boss my Zapdos V in the active spot, we have one in our hand. Okay, they're gonna use Professor's Research, so which means they're not gonna be able to use Boss's Order. So our Galarian Zapdos V is safe. And thankfully, because we had that extra turn, that actually made them evolve into Darkrai VSTAR, which means that once we use our Earthen Seal Stone, it's gonna reduce his HP down to 100. Because if we had used Earthen Seal Stone right away, and then they evolve into Darkrai VSTAR, that's gonna add more HP, making it more difficult to knock out. So we are in a good position here. We have 3 targets that we need. And they're gonna use Dark Pulse for 150 damage, knocking out our Snorlax. So now we can put our Galarian Zapdos V in the active spot. Unbeknownst to our opponent, we will be putting tons of damage to their Pokemon. And then we're just gonna grab our Cramorant as well with our Irida, evolve into our Dragapult. But most likely they're gonna prioritize knocking out our Zapdos. So I feel safe having our Dragapult evolve, and we're just gonna use our Star Gravity, reducing all of their V Pokemon's HP down to 100. And when we knock out their Galarian Moltres V, their Crobat V, and their Darkrai V-Star in the active spot, we're gonna get all 6 prizes in a single turn. So we have all the elements we need in this matchup. We have 3 DPs. As long as they don't knock out our Dragapult in the bench, we should be fine. And it might be a little bit harder to set up because if they knock out our Dragapult, we'll have to find the Stage 2 evolution and a rare candy. We can get rare candy with our Irida, but we have to find our Dragapult. So it's going to be a little bit hard if they target our Dragapult. But if they don't, we should be safe. And I don't think Darkrai V-Star builds have any healing options, so I think those damage counters are gonna stick. So I think we got this, guys. We got this game in the bag. It all depends on what my opponent does here. They're using a lot of trekking shoes, which is very interesting. Dark Patch. And they already used up their V-Star ability, which gets them 2 item cards from their discard pile back to their hand. But what they need is healing items. But if they don't have it, I think we got this game. They're gonna get 2 prizes if they knock out our Galarian Zapdos V, but that's all they're getting. We're gonna win the game in the next turn. Avery could be really bad too, though, if they have Avery. But what we could do is use Irida to get Ordinary Rod. We have 1 level ball, so that's gonna help us get at least 1 extra GP back to our hand and back into play. So that's gonna be our backup plan. So they're down to their 11. They have 11 cards left in their deck. But like I said, it all comes down to what they're gonna do in this turn. But if not, I think we got this. Dark Pulse for 300 damage. That's gonna be game, guys. That's it. We're gonna put our Dragapult in the active spot, and we really don't have to do anything else. Dragon Launcher, pick all 3 of our DPs in the bench so we can target 3 of their Pokemon. Darkrai V-Star, their Crobat V, and their Galarian Moltres V for the win, getting all 6 prizes in a single turn. Wow, good game. Alright, moving on to our next match. This time, my opponent starts this one, and we have our Dreepy to go in the active spot. Dreepy is a lot easier to retreat, so I mean either way, Dreepy or Cramorant. And we have Capture Energy. Capture Energy is just such a good special energy in this build because we can get our Snorlax right away. We can get an extra Dreepy if we need to. Really, really good. We also have a Quick Ball, which is really good too. Dude, we're going up against a Mew VMAX build. I think we can win this one. We can win this one. As long as my opponent can set up a lot of Genesect V, we can use our Earthen Seal Stone to deal damage, putting it down to 100, and then we can just target 3 of them. But this Oricorio, man. The infamous Oricorio. decreases our attack by 20 damage, making it a lot harder for us to knock one out, even if we use Dragapult. So we're just going to use Colress's Experiment, sacrifice those two, and then just going to use Capture Energy, and then we can get our Snorlax. I'm going to use my Quick Ball, get rid of this. We can spare one. Get my Radiant Alakazam. I think we need to move some damage counters, especially Oricorio. So I'm just going to Gormandize here. Alright, cool. We got our Earthen Seal Stone. We also have Manaphy. I don't think we need Manaphy in this matchup, so I can discard that with my Quick Ball to get my Galarian Zapdos V. But they're also using Lost City. This is going to make it a lot more complicated because each time they knock out our Pokemon, it's going to go in the Lost Zone, and we need our Dreepies in this deck to recover them and deal attack damage. So the hard part about this matchup is the special energy, the Fusion Strike energy, prevents us from using our Alakazam, because that's going to be my way to knocking out their Pokemon by just transferring 2 damage counters from one to another. So even if they're reducing damage by 20, you can just transfer damage and then you can still knock them out with 80 damage, even if we're using our Dragapult's attack. So they get their first knockout, but thankfully we got a Colress's Experiment so we can retaliate against their Meloetta. And in effect, we're actually discarding their Fusion Strike energies as well, so that's okay. So let me discard my Manaphy, get the Dreepy, set that up, and then can put an energy on this Dreepy. Discard this Ultra Ball, and I'm just gonna attack Spit innocently for free, and that also puts their Meloetta in the Lost Zone. So I guess it's a win-win for us. I mean, it's a double-edged sword, really. Lost City is good for disrupting your opponent, but if you lose your Pokemon, you'll also lose it in the Lost Zone. So that's the thing, it affects both players. And I mean, that's one less Meloetta that we have to deal with. But regardless, they don't have enough Fusion Strike energies in the deck anymore. So most probably they're not going to be using Meloetta's attack as much in this matchup. So they don't get another attack in this turn, but they have set up 2 Mew Vs on their bench, which is pretty good. We could probably use our Galarian Zapdos V, and we got one with our Colress's Experiment. So I'll just get the Rare Candy, another Colress's Experiment, and our Zapdos, and I think I'm going to have to use the Earthen Seal Stone this turn already, because if I don't, I'm just going to lose my chance here, especially with the Lost City in play. We're just going to be losing a lot of Pokemon every turn. So I'm just going to use Escape Rope so that we can switch into our Galarian Zapdos V and put an energy on Radiant Alakazam. We can attack with it too. And I'm just going to use Star Gravity, reducing all of their V Pokemon down to 100 HP. Now, they can evolve into Mew VMAX, that's the thing. And that's going to increase their HP even further. So we could have waited until they evolved into Mew VMAX. That could have been the thing, but each time they attack, we're going to lose our Pokemon into the Lost Zone, and it's not going to be good. So if they knock out our, which I'm pretty sure they will because they're getting 2 prizes, and that also puts our Galarian Zapdos V into the Lost Zone. So there is no real repercussion against their knocking out our Galarian Zapdos V. But putting energy on our Radiant Alakazam, we can also attack. If my opponent stacks enough cards on their hand, we can attack for a lot of damage with our Radiant Alakazam. It's a little unfortunate that my opponent, I mean, it's a good, I guess, that they couldn't set up us fast either. But if they had only set up all their Genesect V early on, the Earthen Seal Stone attack would have been more effective. So we'll have more options to target their Genesect Vs. But as it is, this is what we're going with. So we're still a little bit in a sticky situation here. My opponent still has the upper hand. Their Mew VMAX has a lot of HP, and we're not taking any knockouts just yet. I mean, we could, I guess. We could. Yeah, that Lost City is really giving us some trouble in that Oricorio. But we'll do our best. So I'm going to use Irida to get Level Ball. We can get one more. We actually priced one Dreepy, so I might as well just get the priced one with our Hisuian Heavy Ball. We get this priced Dreepy. And yeah, we can only get one knockout here. Yeah, I forgot about the Oricorio. And we have no way to get another Dreepy on our bench. So we could target 3 Pokemon. We could have, but we have to evolve one into Dragapult first, so we can only discard 2 Dreepies. We can only target 2. So we'll just remove their Lost City. I know it could be an advantage for us to get that Mew out of the game, but the longer that Lost City stays, when they knock out our Dragapult, we're also going to lose our Dragapult line and never have access to it. So we have to remove that Lost City. So for now, since I can move damage from Mew VMAX onto Mew V, we can get a knockout here. So I'm just going to use Dragon Launcher and discard these 2. And I think I'm going to target their Mew V and also their Oricorio, I'm thinking. That way, once we knock out their Oricorio, we're not knocking it out just yet because, again, their defense is increased by 20. And that also includes Oricorio. We're not knocking it out. But if we can move some damage to Oricorio, we can knock it out. And then all we have to do is get 2 prizes off of that Genesect V. And then we can win this game. I could even target their Genesect V with Cramorant and still deal that finishing blow once Oricorio is gone. But they have Lost City back into play, and that's going to be very, very detrimental to us because now we have to find... I mean, we have... Yeah, we can guarantee a knockout off of Oricorio, and all we need to do is target that Genesect V with another Dragapult. But we have to set up our Dragapult. We'll still have access to 3 Dreepies. We can evolve one into Dragapult, and then we can discard 2 Dreepies to attack. So we still have that under our belt, so we should be fine. As long as Radiant Alakazam stays in play, we should be okay. But that Lost City is such a powerful stadium to have, especially against our build. And Mew VMAX is just really strong, really fast. So we'll see what my opponent does here. They're gonna boss my Radiant Alakazam, dude. That is not good. They're gonna use Lost Vacuum. And they remove their Lost City. Bro, that is good for us. They were probably just trying to thin out their hand so they can use and draw 2 more cards with Genesect V. But I think that was a bad move because we have Clara in our hand and we can just recover our Radiant Alakazam. We also have our Rescue Carrier, so we can get a bunch of Dreepy back into play. And without that Lost City, it's gonna be a lot easier for us to survive this the next couple of turns because they're only taking 1 prize at a time. So that means we still have 2 turns to survive before one of us wins this game. But they are ahead in the prize exchange. As long as that Lost City stays out of the way, we can move damage counters from this active Mew onto their Oricorio, because like I said, the Fusion Strike is protecting that Genesect, so we can't move any damage from that. They're switching out to their Oricorio. Bro, why did they do that? Oh, I think they can't attack because they used Genesect V's attack. So they couldn't attack, they have to retreat, and there's no way for them to return back into the active spot. So that's good. That's good for us. And I think I'm just gonna use or get Dracloak. Yeah, I think I'm gonna get Dracloak because once we run out of rare candy, we could use that to evolve. And so they didn't get a knockout here. I'm just gonna move damage counters from Mew VMAX onto Oricorio, knocking it out, getting us one prize. And then all we need to do is knock out that Genesect V, and without any defense, we could actually hit it for 100 damage and knock it out for 2 prizes. And I'm just gonna pass. We don't have access to Dreepy just yet, and we can't get our Radiant Alakazam out of the active spot, I mean. So we can use Rescue Carrier to get our Dreepies, and we could have won that last turn, but we couldn't get our Radiant Alakazam out of the active spot. So hopefully my opponent has nothing else here. I mean, there's no way for them to get their Genesect V out of play. So it doesn't matter what they do. As long as we can target that Genesect V, should be fine. And as long as they don't target our Dragapult, we should be fine. And also we have access to Boss's Order. As long as they don't use Marnie. If they're using Marnie in their deck, then we have to dig for these Boss's Order. But I think we have a win. Look, the moment I say Marnie, they had it. So we can't use Boss's Order. We can't use Cramorant to knock out their Genesect V. So we will have to rely on Dragapult to get a knockout here. And I think we have one. Dude, they don't even knock out our Radiant Alakazam. Bro. That's it. Let me see. Oh, bro, I don't have Boss's Order. Why did I switch? Bro, I'm making big mistakes here. Alright, we have Scoop Up Nets, so we should be okay. We can still get this Cramorant out of the active spot, put our Dragapult, and then I think we have one Dreepy in our deck. That's our last Dreepy right there, guys. Our last Dreepy, and that's gonna be game. Dragon Launcher for one target. This Genesect V for the win, guys. Not too bad against the Mew VMAX build, guys. Alright, let's move on to our last match. This time my opponent's gonna start this one, and both of us will mulligan. Don't have any basic Pokemon in our hand, and we're gonna start this one with a Cramorant to go in the active spot. And my opponent's using Metal type build, and we have a Quick Ball. We can get our Snorlax. My opponent's starting with Luminian V. That is always a bad start when you start with those supporter Pokemon that can't really do anything, and it's hard to remove them from play. So that's going to be a target for us. They're also using Zacian V. It's a great way to draw into cards with Intrepid Sword ability, but also a really strong attacker. Crobat V to draw into more cards, but also another target for us. Alright, so now my opponent has 3 V Pokemon in play. We can now use our Galarian Zapdos V to use Earthen Seal Stone to reduce their HP down to 100 for free. So all we need to do is get our Earthen Seal Stone and Zapdos set up. But for now, we're just going to use Chorus Experiment. And then let's get Dreepy with our Level Ball. Discard this one. Get my Snorlax. We can use Escape Rope to switch out our Cramorant, so we can Gormandize this turn. And then also play our Stadium, because that's going to thin out our hand. And each time my opponent puts energies onto their Zacian V that's gonna add damage counters to it. I'm just gonna Gormandize here. Got another Chorus Experiment, so we can start attacking with Cramorant once we get 4 cards in the Lost Zone. But they're gonna bump out my Stadium with Crystal Cave, and that's gonna help them heal their damaged metal Pokemon by 30. And that's gonna be a lot harder for us to knock one out, because even if we use Earthen Seal Stone to reduce their damage, their Zacian V, to 100, that's gonna put it out of range of a knockout with our Dragapult, because if it heals for 30, it's not gonna get knocked out because we're hitting for 100 damage. It's 30 damage short of knocking out their Zacian V. So I think what makes a matchup hard with Dragapult are also the healers. If they have a lot of cards that heals their Pokemon, it's gonna be a lot harder for you to knock them out with Dragapult. So let's bump out their Stadium, and I'm just gonna Gormandize this turn. Okay, we have Capture Energy. We can get one more Dreepy in play, but they are gonna boss my Dreepy. Okay, that's not good. So they're disrupting our setup here. I think maybe they're familiar with the cards we're using. They use Brave Blade to knock out our Dreepy, but they're not gonna be able to attack the next turn. But they have Air Balloon. We can just escape. Got Radiant Alakazam from our top deck. I could use my Lost Vacuum to get rid of their Air Balloon. Maybe they can't retreat it, because if they retreat, they remove all their energies. Let me get the Dreepy into play here. I don't think they're gonna expend their energy just retreating, so they don't have any switching option. They're probably just gonna stay in the active spot. So I'm just gonna Gormandize here. We recovered 1 Dreepy back into our deck, and we got Earthen Seal Stone from that Gormandize. We also have Ultra Ball, so we can get our Galarian Zapdos V set up. And my opponent has a lot of V Pokemon in play already. We can just use our Star Gravity attack for free, reducing all of their Pokemon V's HP down to 100. So let's try and set that up. Get rid of these 2. I can just recover that Dragapult if I need to. Get my Galarian Zapdos V. And then I think I'm just gonna Gormandize for now. The reason why I did that, yeah, good. Bro, we drew into a Rare Candy and Irida. That's what I was afraid of, is because if I use the Earthen Seal Stone, Star Gravity, but then I can't evolve into my Dragapult, and I can only target 1, because I have to evolve 1 Dreepy into a Dragapult. I can only discard 1 Dreepy. There's no way for me to target multiple Pokemon to get a win. So it was a risk I had to take, because if they just bossed my Galarian Zapdos V, that plan would have been really bad. So I'm just going to use the Hisuian Heavy Ball to get our prize Dreepy, which is really good. Now we can use our Galarian Zapdos to use Star Gravity for free. And then we have the means to target multiple Pokemon. So I just bossed their Oranguru, hoping that they won't be able to retreat with it. That way we can safely, hopefully, safely attack with Star Gravity. And then maybe our Galarian Zapdos V will survive an attack here, so we don't have to worry about losing 2 prizes if they knock it out. Because if our plans fail, that's gonna be bad. Oh, dude, I forgot about that. So they have Solgaleo, which has an ability that is able to make it switch with the active, and with that Air Balloon, they can just continue to attack with the Zacian V every single turn. That is a crazy combo, I'll be honest with you. So they did get a knockout against our Galarian Zapdos V. So, oh, we got another Dreepy, bro. We don't have any energy though. Oh no, we don't have any energy. And we have no way of getting one. I have Lost Vacuum. I could just get rid of these. And man, okay. Let me just switch or use my escape rope. I'm gonna sacrifice my Cramorant. I mean, I could attack, but you know what? That was a bad move on our opponent's part, because now, even though they healed, we can actually get a knockout here. Thankfully, Cramorant deals 110 damage. Because even though we move those 2 damage counters onto Zacian V, if Cramorant only deals 100, we will not get that knockout. But thankfully, that math added up. 110 damage, moved 2 damage counters despite the 30 HP heal from their Crystal Cave. We were still able to get a knockout to get 2 prizes. So they're gonna use Brave Blade. We got the energy we need in our hand. So this is gonna be game, guys. They weren't able to heal their other 2 support cards on their bench. So I'm just gonna discard these 3, and I'm just gonna target the active and their 2 supporters, Luminian V and their Crobat V, to get our last 4 prizes. There it is, guys. That was a close game, man. Wow, that healing. Good game. And that's it for the video. I hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, please don't forget to smash the like button for me. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below, and please subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for watching the Popsicleknight channel, and as always, stay safe and have a great day.